Hi again. Okay, so we're gonna try this video this time without Jed interrupting. So I wanted to touch base, that's what I was trying to say. I wanted to touch base on kind of the last video. It stopped really kind of abruptly, not because I was actually getting emotional, but because I just have so much stuff on my phone that I need a new chip or whatever it's called with like more data. But so I only have like 9-10 minutes to record, and then I upload it, and then I delete the video from my phone, and then I can start a new one. So that's why it was kind of abrupt. But I wanted to touch on some things in that video. So instead I'm going to make a video that's what not to tell a pregnant woman, but not just pregnant women. A couple of them are like, just don't tell women this in general. Number one, we've all heard it. Never ask a woman if she's pregnant. I have been asked that when I was super pregnant with twins. So I get it, like their heart's in the right place. They're just happy for you and they want to like join in on that joy, and that's great. But sometimes you're wrong. And even when they are super pregnant, even if it's like about to pop with twins, no woman wants to hear how they look like they're going to pop. It's just not, it does not help the morale there. Okay, so just don't do it. Number two, names. There is absolutely no reason that you should ever tell a woman that, okay, so say for example, she's like, okay, I'm going to name this baby Johnny. They do not need to know about Jerk Johnny in your 5th grade class. Like, nobody needs to know that. Out of all the names in the world, they're excited and they picked this name. So they don't need to know all the horror stories of all the horrible Johnnies out there or whatever it is. Like, they don't need to know that. Just smile and nod. Literally, if you don't know what to say, and luckily it's not your baby that they're naming, it's theirs. So just let them be happy, name them whatever they want to name, and just smile and nod. Number three, don't tell them your horror stories. I don't know how many times that happened to me when I was super pregnant with twins, of like, oh my gosh, when I was pregnant, this horrible thing happened and I almost died. When they're in the delivery room about ready to like give birth, they don't need to reminisce about the times that you almost died in your birthing stories. It's just, it's scary as it is. So they don't need to know that. Number four, this one's probably kind of controversial, but for me, I feel my opinion on it is that it shouldn't be said. There's some weird kind of stigma about C-sections versus natural vaginal births. I've had both, and I'll talk about it in a later video, but for me, I would push a baby out of my, 10 times before I would ever have a C-section again. I don't know why people kind of talk C-sections down and make it out to be some like easy thing, because I'll tell you, between the two, that was the harder for me. It's the worst pain that I've ever felt, and no thank you. But also, like, it's none of your business. Like, if they turn around and they tell you, they open up with that information, or it's like your sister or best girlfriend or your mom, like, that's a different story. But like, if this is some stranger that you're like, oh, are you pregnant? You look like you're going to pop. Are you going to have a C-section, or are you going to push the baby out of your vagina? That is absolutely not your business. Like, that's, to me, that's kind of rude. Like, if they decide to share it, okay. But if not, don't ask that. Why does it matter? And then number five isn't for pregnant women, but for women that haven't gotten pregnant or have only had one kid or whatever, like, and it's one that I've done, like, to everybody that I, like, my cousins, my sister, people that I love, and I really didn't get it until I went through the miscarriages and went through some infertility issues, like, but do not ask them when they're gonna have their babies. Oh, are you guys thinking about having kids? Or, oh, are you, is this in your future? Or how many are you gonna have? Like, for certain women, for women that are going through infertility, for women that have had miscarriages and stuff like that, all you're doing at that moment is opening up a huge wound for them. And they're going to sit there and they're going to smile and they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, we want to, but it just hasn't happened. But really on the inside, they're like, don't ask me that. And then they go in the bathroom and they cry or whatever, because you just literally told them like, hey, why haven't you had kids yet? Well, maybe they can't. And that's a really sore subject for a lot of women. So those are just my five tips on what not to tell a woman. And my sixth bonus one for men, my husband's standing over here, so he'll hear this one. But for the expecting fathers out there, it's really just best if you come to the terms that the whole 9 months that she's pregnant, pamper her, make her feel pretty, and she's going to always be right, even if she's a brat. I was so lucky to have my husband, especially through the twins' birth, because I was a spoiled little bee. I got massages every single night. In the delivery room, he was like outstanding. After the birth, when we're in the room with the babies, I mean, the nurses wanted to take him home because he was just so like attentive. And I just feel like I had a really easy pregnancy because my husband would just accept the fact that I would cry over not getting Chinese food or a burrito, and he would go and make that happen. If I asked him for a massage, I know he doesn't want to do it, especially after a long, hard day. He comes home, the last thing he wants to do is sit there and push a baby out of my back or whatever. But he did it without complaint, without question. Just, she is right when she's pregnant. Just get that. I'm not lying. I'm 100% true. And he knows it, all right? And husbands, just get it through your head. She's right the whole 9 months. It's all right. All right, you guys. Have a good night.